Hello and welcome to Toffee TV. It's me, Paul Neal from Irish Football Fan TV, and I'm here for the Sunday supplement, which is a more, I suppose, calm look at Friday night's game after the kind of dust has settled. Obviously, Everton have lost 2-0 to Aston Villa at Villa Park, which is like their first win in the Premier League in, I think, 20 attempts. But I suppose we'll start off as always with the lineup. And the obvious name that was missing off the team sheet was Gabam, and Schneiderlin came in for him. But all in all, it was kind of the norm really. Luca Dean came in at left back. You know, there was fears that he was going to be missing, but he came back in, slotted in like he normally would. And so the back five was the same. You know, going into the game, hadn't conceded a goal. There was all that talk, the usual bullshit. You know, hyping it up. And I think at that point everyone was had that kind of weird feeling in their stomach that something was going to go wrong, but we'll get to that in due course. Then into midfield, then it was, you know, Gomez, Schneiderlin and Sigurdsson as the three, and then you had Bernard, Richarlison out wide, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up top, which isn't really a surprise because I think people are still giving Dominic the benefit of the doubt while we're waiting for Keane to kind of get adjusted to the Premier League. Again, I'll come on to Keane later on in this video, but just like the first 15 minutes, we were totally dominant. All the momentum was with us. We looked like we were going to score, and it's just the same thing that keeps on happening. We are dominating teams and not scoring, and you know, it's costing us games. Obviously, you know, they get a great goal. I thought Luca Dean and Bernard started off really well, but after about 15, kind of 20 minutes, then that started to fade, and Jota started getting the better of Dean. I don't know whether he's still injured or what the case was. Now, he didn't have an overly bad game, and he wasn't like a standout bad player, but it just wasn't, I suppose, up to his usual very high standards. And yeah, ultimately it's Jota then who started getting a bit of joy and started getting a bit of confidence, and then you could see that then by their first goal when he cuts inside and, you know, delivers a very clever pass into Wesley. And I think one of the guys said it, either Paz or Ped, had said it in one of the videos that you look at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I think it was Ped on the final word said that Dominic Calvert-Lewin does not make those runs in behind defenders. He's back to goal. He's very predictable the way he plays, and it does get frustrating. And you know, everyone's like, "Oh, he's young and he deserves a chance," and all. I get that, but he needs to start hitting the back of the net. And ultimately, that's what strikers are judged on. They're not judged on, you know, back to goal. You know, maybe Emil Heskey was judged on that. You know, if he wants to be, does he want to be a Heskey or does he want to be a Michael Owen, for example? That's what Calvert-Lewin's got to look at, because, you know, Keane's coming in there fast and he looks like he's making a difference. But anyway, I'll get to that in a sec. So yeah, as I say, and you know, Calvert-Lewin misses an absolute sitter from a Coleman cross, who as well, Seamus didn't really have his best game at all, I thought. I'm normally one of his biggest fans, and I didn't think he had the greatest of games. I didn't think anyone was overly good at all. I didn't think anyone could have come off that pitch and said that, you know, they had a really good game. I don't think anyone in the whole starting 11 could have come off and said that. Keane was getting constantly bullied by Wesley throughout, and you know, Mina, he seems to spend more time fighting with people when the ball was dead. He was spending more time fighting with people than actually, you know, focusing on when the game was in play and stuff like that. Again, didn't have an overly bad game, but you know, as I say, he just spent more time fighting with the opposition than he did actually, you know, doing anything with the ball. We were going into half time 1-0 down. It was a real shock, but once we conceded the goal, it was all Villa till half time. We come back out as we would probably predict. Silva has a go at them, and they come out and they start trying to create chances. But again, you know, Sigurdsson non-existent in the middle there. I don't think he gets enough balls. It's probably been highlighted in the last week with Andy and Ped have spoken about him a few times, how we just constantly go out wide all the time. And you know, fans are noticing these things. How is a manager not noticing these things? You know, I understand Sigurdsson's not David Silva and he's not going to pick up the pockets of space and stuff like that, but he needs to do something to start becoming more effective, because ultimately he's just a, you know, a passenger in the midfield, really, and you'd be better off sticking someone up the very top, which ultimately that's what Silva did. He switched to a 4-4-2, and I suppose in a way we got more joy, but it ultimately didn't put the ball in the net, and then that's not Silva's fault. You know, he can only bring the players on, he can't put the ball in the net for them. The subs that came on in the second half were Keane. Then you had Iwobi came on. It was really good when he came on as well. And then Theo Walcott came on. I thought also Richarlison had a very quiet game by his standards. I still think he's coming back into fitness. I think in the next couple of weeks you'll probably see him start getting back in and amongst it again, which, you know, we really need him back firing on all cylinders again. And you ultimately think of the chance that Dominic Calvert-Lewin missed if Richarlison was in that striker's position. You'd probably bet your house on he would have scored it. And then, you know, Iwobi comes on straight away and starts making a difference, getting the ball, trying to play cutting passes, penetrative passes in behind the defence, in between the lines. He's starting to make these passes that, you know, our players just don't look like they're capable of doing at times. Richarlison is very direct, you know, and I don't think his football brain is, say, as good as an Iwobi or a Bernard. And you look at the way Jota set up the goal for Wesley. I don't think Richarlison has that in his locker yet. That might come with time. But I do think, you know, if you're not going to start Keane, why not have, you know, Iwobi or Bernard out wide on either side, and then you have Richarlison through the middle? Like, he's come out and said he doesn't think that's the best position for Richarlison, but you've ultimately someone who can score goals in the box, which is what we need. You know, albeit I know he's not good with his back to goal and he's better off running at people, and that's when you see the best of him. But at the same time, if you want someone who you know is going to score your goals, why not put him down the middle if you're still waiting on Keane? I mean, Calvert-Lewin's not really done anything to say, oh my God, you know, he has to start the next game. It's not really the case, is it? You might think I'm being harsh in saying that, but I feel like I'm being truthful. Then Moise Keane comes on as well with Iwobi, and I thought he was fantastic when he came on. Looked like he was trying to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and try and get us a winner. You know, every time the ball came to him, he wasn't getting it that much, but anytime it did come to him, he always did something positive. And he set up a chance for Walcott, and again, I think if you have Richarlison in that position, he scores. Walcott, you know, he rushed it blood to the head and skies it over, gets completely under the ball. And it's just frustrating because, you know, you think we should be going there and getting a win. You know, all this positivity and optimism at the start of the season, and, you know, we went the first 2 games unbeaten and we didn't concede a goal, blah blah blah, first chance to go top and all this crap. I think we got to let that get into our game instead of just focusing on, okay, let's get this result and let's move on. We've got Lincoln and we've got Wolves now in our next 2 games, and I think the Wolves game is going to be a huge test for us because, you know, everyone's saying that, you know, if we want to break the top 6, you start beating the teams around you and so on. Like, we have to bounce back immediately from this loss. Like, I still can't believe that we lost to Villa, if I'm honest, because overall I didn't think that they were the better team. They obviously got their last goal with El Ghazi in the last couple of seconds because we are pushing on so much. Look, I'm not discrediting Villa or anything like that. You know, they got the result. Happy days for them. It's their first Premier League win. You know, I hope they have a great season. As the lad said previously, I think they're a great club, and, you know, it's great to see them back in the Premier League. But from an Everton standpoint, we have to be beating these teams, and if we're going out and just, I just find it hard to see why we can't go to these places and get wins. Like, why is it so difficult? And why do we make it so difficult for ourselves? You know, our defence can't be solely blamed. Our strike force has to be, you know, scoring too. And I do think now you'll see with Lincoln, Moise Keane will start that game. I think maybe then you'll start to see him starting more and more games as the season goes on. And maybe Calvert-Lewin's better off coming off the bench and trying to make a difference that way. Or maybe they'll go with a 4-4-2 during the game and mix it up and have Calvert-Lewin up there with Keane. Who knows? But ultimately, something's got to change in there. Again, Sigurdsson, he needs to try and find a way that Sigurdsson needs to find a way that the system's going to suit him, or Silva needs to find a way for the system to suit him, or else he's going to be taken out of that position. Again, I thought Gababin was a huge loss in central midfield, and you know, it's telling that Idrissa Gueye has gone. Like the energy in the midfield seems to be sapped. And if we're talking about bad performances as well, which I probably didn't highlight, Andre Gomez had an absolute shocker, and you kind of knew after the first 10 minutes he's just not with it today. And whether that's still carrying a knock from a few weeks ago against Crystal Palace, or you know, is he lacking fitness or what? He was just not the Andre Gomez. And even Carragher had even said it on commentary. I think it's his brother playing out there. Like, we can't be affording performances like that. And I'm surprised he wasn't subbed off. And I would have rather have Tom Davies in there giving it his all. I know he's, you know, nowhere near his level, but he would have given a lot more, I thought. And you know, Gomez was obviously having a stinker. But look, that's been the Sunday supplement. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Can we bounce back against Wolves? How do you think we'll do against Lincoln? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to Toffee TV. And if you want more videos from me, head over to Irish Football Fan TV, their YouTube, or you can hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. And I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.